Film Study Podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast with Lexi. I'm Lexi. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, rate the podcast 5 stars, all that good stuff. Today, I have on the pod Kofi and Kay. Kay is from the Purple Teapot. You've heard both of these folks before, and we're going to talk about the season 6 All American trailer. Yeah, so I hope that you like it. Hope that you enjoy it. We just finished watching the trailer. I'm still a little shook. I'm still a little stuck. This on a level of 1 to 10, and Kay, you can go first. Kofi, you can
Okay.
go second. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for season 6 after this trailer?
I'd give it like a 7.8.
8. Okay.
Yeah.
Any
Um
immediate thoughts as to why?
I think the trailer alludes to a time jump, so I'm excited about that. And I'm excited to see how all the characters have developed in that time. So
That makes sense. That makes sense. What about you, Kofi?
I'm gonna go optimistic. I'm gonna say a 9. Um,
okay.
yeah, because one of the things I've been critiquing about the show is the lack of football, and from this trailer, it looks like we're getting a lot of football. So as a male viewer and as a fan, I'm excited. So I'm glad they're going back to the plot. So that's one thing I'm happy about. So yeah, the football looks nice and a lot of drama too. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think I'm on your side when I say about a 7. Maybe a little under your side, K, with a
Okay.
little because you had like a
It's
this is
almost an
seven.
8. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Mine is like a solid 7.
okay.
Um, and I'll say it's probably because, to your point about the time jump, not that I expected them to do a huge time jump, but it's what I personally want. Like, in my own
Mhm.
opinion, is a major time jump. Um, and it's just too small of a time jump for me
Yeah.
because it feels
How
like they
major
just time
do
jumped.
you want?
Like, I wanted a big time jump. I
Like
wanted a
2
big time jump.
years?
Yeah, like 2 years, like like basically to like probably senior year of college. Even if it was like the start of senior year of college, I wanted a time
Mhm.
jump to that. And I knew that was unrealistic, and getting my
Yeah.
own hopes up. But here we are. I've got my own hopes up. But I do think hearing some of the conversation around just the like CW essentially like upfronts, as they're talking to a lot of the advertisers and media and everything in the past couple of weeks, that if they get renewed, a time jump might be coming. So that there's that. But let's get into the trailer for season 6. I can't believe it's already 6 seasons, by the way.
I know.
um so, to your point, Kofi, there's a lot of football. There is a lot of Coach Kinney in this trailer. I don't think I was expecting that, but he has a couple of solid lines. One is explaining to Spencer that he changed the program around for the better, or at least it seems like he's talking to Spencer. There's this, I guess, new assistant director or somebody else that's in place that's talking about like clearing Garrett's legacy and really just removing the stain of Garrett from off the team. And then there's this whole look at what would be, I'm imagining it's their, this is coming off of summer, so it'll be like summer training, um, summer training camp. So they're in summer training camp. There's some tension between Spencer and Jordan
Oh,
there.
shocking.
As
Um,
per.
Like you didn't see that coming. Oh, shock. And that's one of the things I talked to one of my homeboys about that, yo, man, this is getting real old. Like, how many times is Jordan's going to have beef with Spencer in the span of, what, 6 years the show has been going on? Like, dude, what is your deal, my guy?
I'm not picking sides yet. I don't know who caused it.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because I think that, and again, I've said this several times, and um I like over the course of the last couple of years, but that because we see the show from Spencer's point of view and he's the central character, that I don't know if like everybody else's like reasonings get as fully fleshed
Mhm.
out as his does. So it does seem like it was just like watching this trailer when you hear Jordan say, which I thought was very different. Could we just pause to say it was very different for Jordan just to come out? Maybe I'm misremembering things, but it was very different for Jordan to just come out and say, "Hey, I'm a little jealous of Spencer." And I was just like, "Wait, Jordan's like not just sulking in a corner and he's just like admitting that he's jealous of Spencer. This is different. Like that's a new little twist. I don't know." See, sort of, we always see the Spencer end of it and like people sort of projecting onto Spencer and his thoughts about that. But I would like to see, why Jordan feels this way. And 2K's point, like if there was something between the both of them, like it wasn't just on Jordan's end, but it was also on Spencer's end, because we get that like, are you going to throw me the ball? So is it like what's going to be this case? Like is Spencer first in the progressions? Like if we really want to get dig deep into football, like where is Spencer in the trajectory of being wide receiver? One to three, I assume he's one, but like what does that look like? How is this offense being built, and why is that leading to the tension? And I
Mm.
hope that it's more outside factors of the way that the offense is building than truly tension between them two, like personally off the field.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so too.
Could be,
Uh,
So, what do you
could
think
be.
about that, Kofi? Do you think they'll get into almost like separating it on the field or off the field, or do you think it's gonna sort of merge and blend like it has been for the past couple of years, past
I
couple
think
of
it's.
seasons?
I think it might be a combination of both. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, something is probably. We'll probably find out once we get into it when we watch, because I don't know what Jordan could be annoyed about with Spencer
mm.
right now. Maybe it is football related. I think they probably feel the pressure of having to perform. I'm not sure, but we'll see. I mean, the fact that he says that you have to be great, that depends on me getting the ball. That means he could be icing him out. Excuse me, during practice or something, or if they actually play games and they actually end up losing a game, maybe there's some chemistry issues there. I don't know. So
Yeah, that was really interesting because it was that was one point in one line where I was just like, "Okay, Jordan, yes, that is your job as quarterback." Like it's not, and that's why I'm very interested to see if they actually focus it in on like a uh particular situation with the actual offense that they're running, because if it isn't, then it's like, yes, Jordan, your job is to get Spencer the ball because we assume that he's wide receiver one. So why would that change? Like you should get your top wide receiver the ball. But yeah, so it'll be interesting. What do you all think about the just that still apparently it's still they're still trying to clear Garrett's name, which I remember like we left off that, but what do we imagine any exciting turns with the GAU football program as a whole now that Garrett is gone, and them trying to clear his name or clear the stain of Garrett off the team?
mm, oh, go ahead, Kay.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I'm not sure the direction that from this. I'm not sure the direction that's going to take. They're going to take. So I was hoping that they were going to leave most of that Garrett stuff alone, but I guess not. Like I get the impact, but does it need to still be a main thing? Like I feel like I'm not articulating this properly. um, Kofi, do you want to go? What I
Yeah,
think.
sure. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how they navigate it. I mean,
Mm,
I assume that they're still going to be under sanctions because of what Garrett did. So,
yeah.
that will be one interesting part. I just want to see how the players are going to mesh, because I get the sense that there's supposed to be some new characters we're gonna see in this season. I don't know if they previewed that yet, so I'm trying to see how some of the new guys from last season we saw, like Sal and Marco and some of those guys, how they fit into the team. And yeah, this is the one part where you know I feel like this is going to be the most football heavy we've had in a while. So that's one part that I'm really excited about. So
You're right about that, about the sanctions. I don't. This is shocking. I usually remember almost everything having to do with this show. But didn't they have to take off like um
I,
what
I,
amounts to like a semester of football or something last season?
I thought it was a
some
year.
yeah, I also thought there was some
Cause
sort of bowl ban too.
yeah, because I wrote in my notes because I when I was earlier that Kenny says the last year they've changed for the better, and I'm thinking if it's a year long time jump.
No,
Maybe.
I don't think it's a year long time jump because Olivia's thing was
I
only
know,
for the
no, I'm
summer.
I'm thinking maybe there might be multiple time jumps, maybe.
Oh. See, I got the sense that this was literally like the first two episodes that we've seen because they typically
Hmm.
stick to like
Or the
two.
timeline might be muddled.
That's true. The timeline might be bottled. My understanding was that last season that they had, we essentially saw their whole entire freshman year of college, and it overlapped some with the end of season 4, but it was like season 5 was encompassing the rest of their freshman year of college.
Hmm.
And I think that the sanctions were for just like a semester essentially of like off season training
Oh,
that they couldn't do. And then I think that they're why they have to do so much when they come back is because like this is the first time that they're actually sort of really allowed to dig deep into their program and get prepared for the next season that they have because they
yeah,
didn't have an entire off season to work with.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I agree. I agree.
So yeah, I mean I could see why the tension is mounting.
Yeah.
To
Um,
that point, I hope. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's that scene, the scene with Laura and Jordan and Olivia. Did you feel a little tension from from the way that that Spencer looked? He looked a little.
Yeah, what so let's go to that. Laura obviously is sitting with Liv and Jordan and Spencer. And it was really interesting, number one, the way that it was shot, and to your point, that Laura the three of them were at the table, but Laura was very clearly speaking to Olivia and Jordan about Billy's legacy. And then we
Mhm.
get like Grace in a whole different scene talking about like this is what you told Billy Baker. It was really like I was just wondering and trying to decipher and detangle like why are the writers choosing now to bring back in the past seasons, like the very very early seasons. And it could be because like we're approaching the 100th episode, and this is 6 seasons, and now is a great time to bring back all of those things. But I feel like we haven't gotten flashbacks like that in a very long time. And then to and I understand that Billy just died, but it felt so not out of place, but it almost felt out of place because it's like why are we flashing back to the pilot right now? Why is Laura talking to Liv and Jordan in a conversation where it feels like she should only be talking to Liv and Jordan, but then Spencer's
Mm,
at the table, and then why is
yeah.
Grace bringing up Billy? You know what I mean? I don't know. It just what were your thoughts on that? It was just so confusing to me in the way that it was set up.
To me, it felt like he probably almost felt excluded because for the last 5 seasons, it's been him being Billy's legacy most for the most part. But now that Billy's gone, like Laura's like, oh no, my kids are his legacy, and I don't know. I saw a little bit. It felt off to me. It did.
Thank you. It did feel very off. Oh, well, and Kofi, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a very interesting thought. I kind of felt it. It kind of felt off to me too. Like, and I tend to agree with what you're saying in terms of they're probably setting up for it being the 100th episode, so they need to. They're
Mm.
probably trying to do some callbacks to season one. I expect that we're gonna see a lot of those. So, and in terms of tension, I don't know. I rewatched the trailer several times, and it looked like Spencer was down or something was really eating at him. Like I
Yeah,
can't put my finger on it. I don't know.
yeah.
And this. I don't know if they've really addressed. I mean, Jordan kind of addressed this in season four when he had the argument with Billy about how he expects better of Spencer and he expects him to screw up. And part of me feels like that we're gonna circle back to that somehow. Like Jordan's gonna feel some type of way about, even though Billy's no longer here. Like he's still. I don't know if he got that validation from Billy like Spencer did. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
like I feel like we're gonna see some. That's probably why he's feeling some type of way, and we see the tension between the two of them. If I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, it was. I feel like tension was the. I mean, as it always is with All American, but I feel like now that we're talking about it and naming it, tension was the theme of the trailer. I think that last season, I wouldn't necessarily say that tension was the theme. I feel like last
Hmm.
season, when we got the first trailer, it was about growth and it was about change and it was about growing up. And now it just feels like very strained, oddly. Like
Yeah.
it just the whole trailer felt strained, whether it was, Spencer and Jordan, which was the major thing, or it was like we'll get into Spencer and Olivia and Jordan and Layla and all of that things. But even let's even take it a step back and go, to characters that aren't the central of the plot, and but are more of sort of the secondary characters and secondary storylines. But even like Jamie and Asher, like Asher telling Jamie like we need a village to help, and I'm like, did was that not the case at the end of the last season? Like I don't
Oh, it's very much so that the whole fundraising 100%. I don't know, maybe this is something different. Maybe they're talking about their parents, I don't know.
that was
Or
interesting because
Ash's
it felt the
parents.
way, yeah, the way that Asher said it, it felt like he was trying to convince Jamie we need help, and we have
Mm,
to accept help. And yeah, I think us sort of naming this tension and naming this strain, it's very interesting that we're starting off season 6 on such a strained note, because I feel like season 5 ended on a very hopeful note. And
yeah,
now that time has passed, whether that be 2 or 3 months or whatever, in between that 2 or 3 months, things have changed from hopeful to strained.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I
tend
agree.
to agree. I mean, it's a lot.
Um it was a lot. Now we're thinking about it, I'm like, ah,
Yeah.
oh my
But
goodness.
I think because season 5 ended so hopeful, minus patience, I think
Oh, right.
they had to
Forgot
bring
about that
in the
girl.
drama so that everybody will come back to the show, and I'll be
That's
there.
true. You gotta you
I'll
said
be
I'll be seated.
there. Yeah.
Seated.
Yeah.
But this is, and to your point, they had to reestablish the drama. Something that wasn't drama that I think that a lot of people thought was going to be drama. Jamie did have the baby.
Mhm.
She did not,
Yeah.
trigger warning, lose the baby or die in labor, or any of those things that was
Uh,
suggested.
I think I
Um
suggested that.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't
so
think she was
how
gonna
do we
have
feel
the
about a
baby.
baby? How do we feel about a baby? To cut the tension for a second, how do we feel about a baby on set? How that's going to
Uh,
change dynamics?
I like it. I like the thought of dynamics changing. Yeah, I'm just I think I think for Ash's character, it's developed so much. A baby being the next step makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what they would have done with that character if it wasn't for the baby, but I'm here for it. I'm here for Daddy Asher and uh why did I say it like that? Yeah, I'm here for Asher as a dad
Woo.
and and Jamie. Yeah,
That's really funny.
yeah, yeah.
What about you, Kofi? Are you here
Yeah,
for Daddy Asher?
yeah, I'm here for it because that's my favorite character. So like anything good
Every
that
time you
comes.
say that, I feel like I get so shocked each and every time, even though you say it every single time.
Yeah, no, I know, man. I used to hate this guy from the beginning,
Same.
and then the story has real. This is what All American does. That's so great, like good, great character development. So like I'm here for this. Him trying to navigate being a dad and still trying to get his coaching dreams. So and then his comment about having a village. I mean, I'm here for it. So yeah, we're gonna see a lot of Uncle Jordan and Auntie Olivia and Layla, and hopefully everything they come and rally for them. So this is gonna be
Uncle
fun.
Spence.
Uncle
I
Spence
know, it's just
too.
like, you see, he didn't. I guess Spencer's not gonna be with the baby.
Nah,
Is solving world
Spencer has too much.
issues.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Spencer has too much going on.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it is. It is. I think quite interesting. And Kay, it's so funny that you said you don't know what they would do with Asher's character if it wasn't for the baby. And I still feel that way. I think that out of the characters, I think Asher is the one that I question the most, sort of where his storyline is going. I think that I loosely predicted that we would see less of Asher this season, and it's simply because there's obviously story to tell with him being a young dad and trying to work and everything like that. And rest in peace the actor who played Coach Montez,
mm,
um
Yeah,
because
that's
he
right.
passed away. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what more they get out of this Asher character, and yeah, just where his story will go, because it feels like he's very disconnected from the rest of the cast, and he's not central to the
yeah.
story that they're telling. And so I just want to know if they'll mesh him back into the group, maybe through this village thing. I don't know, but also remember, like, JJ's not going to be on this season. He's no longer a part of the cast, so Asher doesn't have a lot of tying him to. He doesn't have a lot tying him to the to
This
the
baby
to the core
is
cast. Yeah,
this baby is going to be this baby is going to be
I mean, if they name somebody that,
the
I mean,
tie.
who do we
Him
now?
and
It has to
Layla.
be maybe. I mean, that would make sense, but I'm like,
It
I almost feel like they have to make Spencer and Olivia the godparents just to, like, give it a greater sense of importance. You know what I mean?
you know like
Hmm.
I
I
just
I I
it.
thought about that, but
Okay.
I felt like if they were gonna name godparents, it'd be Layla and Jordan because Jordan and Asher
I
been boys
absolutely
from the
think that's gonna be the case. I just think
yeah.
that
Yeah.
storyline wise, like, how are we gonna connect Asher? How are we gonna connect Asher to this story moving forward?
Coop.
And yeah, I
It's
do
gonna be
think it's gonna
Coop
be Jordan and Layla though. Wait, what'd you say?
and Coop
Coop
and Tamia.
was Coop rapping? Did we see Coop
Yeah,
Oh
rapping in
please.
this?
Oh God.
you know what? It
I thought
looked
we
like
had.
it. It looked like it too because I thought she was still trying to be a lawyer out here, but this I was genuinely surprised to see her on the mic with a DJ. So maybe they're circling back to her music. I don't know.
That's
Daddy.
what I mean by, I just want to understand. I understand in general the sense of direction that they're going, but with the callbacks to season 1, with where we left off in season 5, it feels like they're pressing a hard reset on a lot of situations.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious to see how that the execution of this hard reset goes. Um, because to that point, like, why, I have so many questions. Like, why is Laura just addressing Jordan and Liv if Spencer's at the table? Like,
That's her
why is
babies.
why I don't listen. I understand that, and listen, I feel that way on the inside. I'm like, about time, but also I'm like, this is not what we've established for the past 5 seasons. She's always.
She's had some clarity in the last that step away from Billy not being around has made her
Please,
realize
be
that she
serious.
needs to step up as a mom.
She needs as a parent, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just very interesting. And then Grace,
Thoughts on Grace?
where's your husband? Like, where's your husband?
Where's
Where's
Dylan?
Dylan? Dylan is
Yeah.
supposed to be. Dylan has been on set. Jalen has been on set, so it's what was the purpose of the move? Only to move back, and so it's all of these things. Like, what's happening right now?
It feels like they're doing a soft reboot. Am I the only
That's
one
what
that
I've
feels that
said.
way?
I'm here for it if it's a soft reboot.
But it doesn't even feel like a reboot as much as it feels they're very hard resetting to the trying to reset to the early seasons or make
Mm.
callbacks to the early seasons. And I am just curious to see how this turns up because it see the end of season 5 was very different from where we left off in season 1, which is their callbacks. And so it's how are we going to thread those pieces together to bring it back around? Like how is Coop suddenly back interested in music? What,
Mm,
all of these things. So that's that on Coop maybe returning to rap,
Oh.
Asher, doing what he's doing, being a dad, but also not being central to the story.
Mm.
question about that. Since the unfortunate passing of the guy who played Montez, I did read in the Deadline article that he did film a couple of scenes before he passed away. You get a feeling like they're gonna have to address that on the show, and I don't know. This is a wild theory, but I just get a feeling that we're gonna see the other coach Montez at some point, maybe during this season, or I don't know. We haven't seen her in a while, but if they write it like he has died, like maybe we see Vanessa again. I mean, I don't know. Like, do you think that's something that they would do?
I don't think we're seeing Vanessa again.
Okay, but but seriously, like, what?
I do think there's a chance we see the other coach Montez. I just don't
Yeah.
think we're seeing. I don't think we're seeing Vanessa
Oh
again.
gosh, Vanessa turns up.
I did read
Could
somewhere
you
that there.
imagine the Asher I met over summer? I'm kidding.
No,
It would
no, I
cause a
The Asher
drama.
I made over the Asher I met over summer is a daddy now.
you know what. I did read somewhere on Twitter. I don't know if this can be verified now that there's supposed to be somebody from the past that's supposed to show up to make the cast reevaluate their relationships. So
I did see that, and
I
yeah,
have a
Maybe.
feeling that it could be Vanessa. I don't think
I
they
don't
do
think
it,
it's
but
gonna be
I
Vanessa.
think I think Coach Montez, Mrs.
I
Montez
just
would
don't
be a
feel like
good
she
one.
impacts enough people. I feel like it has to be. I don't
Everybody else,
know.
who else could it be? Everybody else is dead.
I don't know. It's like Chris is an option. Is I don't know.
Hmm.
There's always. I feel
It's gonna
like
be
if
Simone.
anybody, it'll be. It's not gonna be Simone. I think if anybody, it's gonna be somebody with connections to Crenshaw.
hmm,
Mm.
I don't know.
It's
Well,
because the last time it was Kia, and then I think they always do some trickery with that sort of synopsis anyway because there is someone who showed back up that was familiar with Spencer and Jordan and it ended up being a character we only saw one other time for that football episode. It was the recruit,
oh yeah,
Mhm.
Marco,
Galvin. Yeah,
Marco.
Marco Galvin. um
Hmm.
so yeah, I didn't, to your point, I thought about that, but I was just like they always do, some hidden things, some manipulation with that synopsis.
They
So I
might
wasn't
run some
sure.
Yeah.
okey doke, but like
Yeah,
if they wanted some spiciness, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. But you're right, it's probably not going to happen. But yeah,
I
I'm
just
curious. I'm curious to
bring
see
me
how.
in.
Oh, I'm
I was
sorry.
gonna say bring me anybody else besides Vanessa.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but I will be curious how they're gonna do Asher's story this season, considering that he
Yeah.
and Coach were like net tied together, and now that he's not gonna be there,
That's
unfortunately, because of his passing, like how are they gonna
yeah,
address it? That's the one thing
yeah, and
I'm.
Yeah.
I agree, and I think even said, and even apart from that Coach Montez character is how is Asher going to be integrated? Like Asher had a built-in buddy with JJ or something built in that they could fall back on with his storyline with JJ, and now it's sort of Jamie, but Jamie isn't as integrated into the friend group. And again, maybe making Jordan and Layla godparents, but to that point, how are they connected to Spencer? What's this ultimate connection to Spencer that'll tie Asher back to the storyline? And I'm very interested to see, um, yeah, what that is. What that is.
Yeah.
Um, moving on to the what some would call the good stuff. Jordan and Layla.
Oh, the great stuff. Carry on.
There's a there's a new place called Layla's, which I'm sure is taking over Slossons. I
It probably is Lawson's new
It
branding.
is Slauson. No, I think that she purchased Slauson's and is changing it
Okay.
into something else, and I'm like,
Hmm. How does
help
she
me,
get? Where does she get the bread
help
to
me.
even get a place like?
That Patience blew up last season.
Why are we acting like Layla isn't crazy, stupid rich?
I know.
I
True, true.
that's
Layla has
true.
a lot of money.
It's just that
What did
they
she
never.
say? Was it last season that she said this? My rich canceled out your rich because I was richer than you. Like that's she's still very rich. She's
She's
still
so iconic, yeah.
extremely rich. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. She has a place now. Okay. So what is that supposed to be a hub for where musicians can like play their music and stuff?
I assume so. It's
Where
giving One
Coop
Tree
start
Hill
restart. Where Coop restarts her
when
rapid career.
Peyton opened up that club, but she's not old enough to have a club. I don't think. So I that's this is where insert business partner, right? Insert business
Yeah.
partner that
Hot business partner.
I
Yo, Liv was messy for that line. Like, what
Yeah.
was the emphasis? Like, what you trying to do,
I
Olivia?
think
I'm
Liv
glad you
just
asked the
likes to
question.
stir the pot when it comes to her brother, and because that's her best friend, well, that's meant to be her best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just she's always sarcastic when it comes to Jordan and his relationships, though. So.
It was an interesting line. I yeah, it again, I feel like a lot of things felt a little bit off, a little bit out of place, a little bit like to
Mm,
increase the tension between all of the characters. And I think that was one because I think it was, you know, we haven't seen Jordan and Liv talk at all about his relationship with Layla. I don't think at all. Is there
mm-mm,
been any conversation? I don't think there has been. So
no.
to right off the bat get sort of one of Liv's first comments being about Layla's business partner, it's very interesting. And like Layla's wearing her engagement ring, so I assume that people
They're
know that they're
still
engaged. It's
engaged.
not a secret. Um,
Definitely not.
but yeah, what do we besides that being weird, how do we think the engagement news is being taken? And is it just sort of is it are we just gonna be there and it's gonna be normal? Oh, Jordan and Layla are engaged and it's not gonna be a big
Uh,
deal.
Maybe it is a big deal, and that's why she's being so sarcastic.
Ooh,
Because
I like that interpretation.
yeah, because she did have a problem with him being too young when he married Simone. So there might be that the fact that Layla is her best friend might not be like that might not be enough for her to not hate the fact that he's engaged again.
Oh, and she's okay.
Like she's
Okay. I
probably
can get
trying to
down
stay
with that.
neutral, but has her little jabs. I can imagine
I
that.
can if Liv has a issue with the engagement, okay. Kofi, what do you think?
Uh, I tend to agree with Kay. Maybe it's her way of. I don't know why people would have an issue with it. I mean, probably the only person would probably I won't say issue, just showing concern would be Laura. But I don't know. I mean, it's
That was my guess, but
Mm.
now that we've seen the trailer and Gabe, what you're saying makes a lot of sense.
A
I didn't
second
think
engagement
that.
in before 20 is actually kind of crazy, but we
I feel
still
like
love
he's already
them.
20. I think that he's like almost
Okay,
21. I
at
in
20
my
then.
head, yeah, maybe he's 20. But yeah, I
It's
get what you're saying.
it's still wild,
It is very insane. I agree, which is
but
why
we
I thought
still
that
love
Laura,
them.
yeah, which is why I thought that Laura, to your point, Kofi, would be the the person that expresses concern.
Mm.
But if Liv is trying to stay neutral but can't help herself express her discomfort with them being engaged. I think that would be
Mm,
very that would be interesting. I think that that would explain why she said what she said um in that scene about
yeah,
the business partner.
yeah,
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
agree.
that'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. And yeah, that was really all that we got besides Jordan and Layla playing with the baby.
Oh yeah, uncle and
so cute.
auntie. Yeah, then
Hmm.
that theory about them being the godparents might hold up because that's the first shot
I
we
do think
see.
that they're going to be the godparents. I'm just saying I would have liked for the writers to really force the situation to make
They can have
Spencer the
more than
godparent.
two. They can have more than
That's
two
true.
godparents.
And they're like all of your aunties and uncles.
But
One thing I don't see Spencer as a godparent. In
I
my
don't
head, I
either,
don't
but
see.
I'm trying to
Maybe
force a
if Coop
connection
had a
between Spencer
kid,
and
I
Asher.
don't. Yeah.
well, the thing is that Spencer and Asher have already addressed what issues they've had between the two of them. Although I did have uh, Spencer never really acknowledged his part in it, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, like I don't know. I mean, it just I guess it
Kofi,
makes sense.
you gonna get me. I'm gonna go on Twitter after I upload this, and they're like, "Oh, I hate that podcast." I didn't even say nothing. What?
I mean, I was just I don't know. It just seems I don't know
Prepare
if
to
they
be
would.
subtweeted, Kofi.
I don't know if they would make Spencer and the godparent. Maybe that I don't know, man. It's just they're good
I
now, but
don't
they
think
don't.
it makes sense either. Let me
Yeah,
clarify. I don't think it makes sense. I absolutely think it would be forced. But out of all of the decisions that they could force and come out of left field, I feel as if this would have been the route to go because otherwise, what is Asher's connection to Spencer? Spencer is the primary character of this show. They
yeah,
made this clear. They made it clear in the trailer. And so yeah, I just want to know how Asher will be included in the group. And I don't think a tie to Jordan and Layla is as strong
Mm.
as a tie to Spencer and
What
Olivia.
about a tie to Olivia, just to Olivia? Because I can imagine
Yeah, I think that would be
I can
strong.
imagine them choosing Olivia as godmother as well. Because I
yeah,
think Liv and Asher
Both of
are
his ex
kind of.
girlfriends as godmother.
Well, it's hard to find somebody who's then it's Cooper and Patience then, and I don't think he's as close to.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's definitely gonna be Jordan and Layla, but it's
yeah,
just funny to think about like what is yeah,
Yeah,
Asher has
it is. It
no
is.
connection to Spencer in the show right now, and
They're
yeah,
he has
roommates.
loose ties. That's true, but roommates are only going
They're
so
gonna be
far. You know
so.
what I mean?
I can't imagine how it's either going to go with them as roommates with a crying baby in the house. I,
Right.
I feel like that's going to cause tension. I don't know. Maybe Spencer looks pissed at that dining table because he's tired because the baby's been crying all night.
Maybe.
Mm.
Maybe. I
I've
don't
come
know.
up with some crazy predictions.
I'm being extra, but I say all that to say let's get a storyline with Asher that's putting him back into the real core of the
Mm.
group. If he's going to be still a main character in the series
I,
regular
I
moving
feel like
forward.
the this baby and the village comment he made will be their way to tie him
yeah.
back because he maybe it's going to be a lot for him because I can't imagine how he can take his it's a boy, right? His son to his coaching meeting, and he's in a whole like crib and stuff. So maybe that's the way that they bring him back into the main fold. You know,
Thinking maybe with um the actor who played Coach Montez, his death, maybe there could be a moment where there's a transfer for
I
Asher to
think that would be
GAU
perfect. Yeah.
because there's he's the only one at GAU now.
what about
Um,
Jabari?
Coastal. Yeah.
oh
But I
Yeah,
think to that point,
yeah,
I agree with Kay is that I think it's time for coaching change for Asher to switch over to coach at GAU from Coastal.
Yeah, Jabari's
Um,
still there.
yeah,
They can play against Jabari, but I think
right.
Asha should
Yeah,
go to
I think it's
GAU.
more important, yeah, to weave Asher back into
Or
that
even if he
main
did
sort
like
of story.
a part time half and half, even though I feel like that would be against some kind
I
of
don't. Yeah,
rules.
I don't think you can do that. That would be non-negotiable in football. Um, but yeah, so that's on all of that. That's on Jordan and Layla. Maybe they're the godparents, etc., etc., etc. Spencer and Olivia. We really only got two lines on this relationship, and one of them was, oh, are you distracted because the girlfriend? Also, I didn't love that line. Like,
Yeah,
why
me
are you calling her the
neither.
girlfriend? I think you know
Also,
her name.
yeah, also
Does
Spencer has
Kenny
consistently had a girlfriend the entire time he's been at GAU. He went from Liv to what's her name? I wrote it down. To
Alicia?
Alicia back and potentially back to Liv. I don't know what Liv's decision is after she went to London, but yeah,
No, it seems like they're getting back together
they're back
immediately.
together. Okay, good,
Yeah,
good.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
as
Her
Olivia
question, but
said,
yeah.
yeah, Spencer and I are new people, different people.
Mm.
I don't remember exactly what she said, but she was just like,
She
yeah,
said that she
we're.
had
I mean, she said, oh yeah,
changed.
I'm not the
She had
same. She said, I'm
grown.
not the
Yeah.
same. I'm not the same.
Hmm.
So,
Oh boy, here we go.
Are you scared of the
um,
backlash? The subtweets. That's what that sigh sounded like. Okay, you can edit that out.
I'll keep it in. I'll keep it in. You know what? Thoughts on what Olivia said, and then I'll share mine. So, Kofi, what are your thoughts on what Olivia said, and then we'll go to Kay.
The comment about she's not the same. I tend to agree. I mean, I think her going to London to find herself to be on her own. I think there has been a period of growth, for her from that aspect. I
Hmm.
didn't think she was entirely wrong about how she went about the article. Now there were some things that I did disagree with, but for the most part, I felt that she was doing it for the greater good. So in that
Yeah.
aspect, I thought she did a good job with that. And just in terms of how they navigate their relationship, I don't know, man. I hope in this time that they've become better communicators. So hopefully, they
Yeah. I
they they
agree.
they have figured that part out, and I'm just gonna hope for the best for this, it just hopefully like things are good and that they're both on the same page and on one accord, so to speak.
I agree with what Kofi said, especially about the communication. I think the entire problem has been communication, and I'm hoping that the distance, even though it's kind of like when kind to like during that summer where they were apart and they were like talking all the time. Wow. That
Yeah.
I hope that that distance has helps their communication, because that's all I feel like half, like no, not half, like 90% of their problems could have been solved if they just talked about it. Which is, it's a TV show, so it's for the drama, but like I'm hoping that I know that I think that this was all for the best, to be fair. I think
Yeah.
that I think that
I'll
the
go ahead.
distance is
Sorry.
just going to develop their. I just think that it's just going to develop their characters in a way that will just help progress their storyline.
Yeah, I agree. I saw a little bit of the reaction to the trailer, and I saw a little bit of people questioning if why is Olivia saying this, and maybe the writers are setting her up, and I don't necessarily feel that way. I think that that's completely reasonable if you think about the fact that they were broken up for about a year. At least
Mm,
6 months they were broken up. And he was with somebody else, and then they got back together, but she immediately went off to London for two
London.
to three months. And
Mhm.
so naturally they are going to grow, and she was exposed to the world. I don't think that she had really ever, or we had never really heard about her traveling before as a young adult, besides a trip, one trip when she was younger to like Disneyland or something, or Universal. But she's never really traveled as an adult. So to see who she is after coming back from London and after being on this, I'm sure it was a life changing trip. Naturally, there's going to be a newer get to know you, uh, on top of the fact that she left, and then on top of the fact that they were broken up and didn't talk as much as they did for like a year. So it makes sense to me, and I don't think that their get to know you period or communication reestablishing who they are period is going to be a long time. I think that it's,
Mhm.
you know, it'll be smoother
It
because
shouldn't be.
yeah, they have spent this time apart. I think necessary time apart, and so now they can
Yeah.
come with clear heads. What is it? Clear heads, full hearts. So this is,
Yeah.
I don't watch that
Distance
show,
made
but
their heart grow
yeah,
fonder.
go fonder,
Mm.
and and more mature. I hope that
Mhm.
that's
That's what I
really what they
hope.
take from that, because I think that communication is their biggest issue, and so the fact that Liv is communicating this off the bat,
Mhm.
we saw her talking about it with Layla, but hopefully she tells that to Spencer, and I think she will,
Yeah.
and I think that they're going to be ultimately they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will
I don't
be.
know why Spencer would be stressed about Olivia coming back though. That is something that I wasn't sure about.
I think that was Kenny just teasing, honestly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they'll be fine. I mean, like you said, it's the time apart. I'm pretty sure they've grown, and hopefully, like just won't be issues between the two of them. You know what I mean? Because I can't see my boy Spencer sad no more. So like, so, like Olivia
He
had
is
him down
always sad.
bad. Like she had him
Real
down
bad.
bad, like real
Mhm.
bad. I remember 504 the moment she told him that, like, but she knew what that was. My man looked like he was about to burst down into tears and cry. Like, God
Was that
dang.
after that was
At the
after
wedding.
he was texting another girl in her
Yeah,
face
right.
all throughout the
Yeah.
weekend, right? Was that, I
Yeah.
just
True.
wanted to add that in
Oh.
because
Yeah,
I
just
wanted to
had
make
that.
sure that we
I forgot about
also
that. Thanks for reminding
acknowledge
me.
we also acknowledge that Olivia was down bad, and she was the one who was broken
Mhm.
up with off the bat.
Yeah,
She
Oh.
did not want to break up, so I think that it's that both of them are coming to this relationship with a deep love for one another, and both of them really hate being apart.
Yeah.
And they
yeah,
both are really sad being apart, and so I think, yeah, I just want both of them to get on the same page because
yeah,
they're miserable without each other. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
True.
I agree. So,
True.
I just had to add that in for my girl Liv because
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
people
Shout out
fair.
to Liv.
people forget she don't let me not even go into this. I'm not even
She's
gonna bring
been
it
through
up.
it. She's been through
She's
it.
been through it. I mean, come on. She told Spencer she still loved him, and then still had to wait like 3 months, 4 months after that for them to get back together.
Mm.
So that breakup hurt the both of them for sure, for sure.
I'm still
Um,
pissed she didn't get to have her moment of dating.
I agree. I'm with you on that. But we're
Yeah.
getting it. We're getting it now.
I just
I'll
had to
see it.
say that. I just had to
I
say
do
that.
think that that the little sexy scene, the clothes were off. That could be Spencer and Olivia, probably.
It's more. Oh, it's definitely Spencer
Oh
and
yeah.
Olivia. As
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like they make the most sense. It's like they've been apart, so
When it's Coop and Patience, they're not. I just
speaking
like
of
to
that,
not
say certain
listen.
things
I
just to
just
trigger you.
we didn't see much of patience in this trailer either. I,
No,
I
we
she
hope
didn't
wasn't
see
she's.
in it at
patience at
all,
all.
I
other
hope
than
she's
just
okay.
flashback.
I hope
She's
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 fine.
okay.
fine. Chelsea been
Okay.
all set.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
the
All
entire
right.
time.
All right. Good.
Yeah, we just did it. I just didn't bring her up because yeah, we
She
she
wasn't
wasn't in the
in the
trailer.
trailer.
Yeah, she wasn't in
Mm,
the trailer. So but
yeah.
yeah, that was the trailer. thank you all for joining this and for reviewing it with me.
Thanks for
There is a
having
lot to
us.
be broken down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, I can't. Thanks for having us. Interesting
yeah,
thing about this whole thing is that the universes have now been separated because I think Homecoming's not coming back till the summer.
yeah. Till
So,
Yeah.
afterwards, it's for
so
the
I guess,
best.
yeah,
I think that the timelines are there. Thank you for bringing that up because I want to say, from my understanding, and granted, this is just I have as much knowledge as the next person, but it seems to me like it's gonna be a Arrowverse sort of a thing where the timelines don't match up as well as they did these past two seasons with Homecoming. But it's still, if they ever, for any reason, need to bring either cast members from one show or the other onto the other show, that they'll line up enough to
Hmm.
justify that. So I think that they're it's still a universe and they're still connected, but it's just like they're not on the exact same timeline as it was. Really strong in season 1 and season 4 of All American. So yeah,
all right. Well, that's good
but
to
yeah.
know. So, yeah. All
All
right.
right.
Yes,
Thanks again. And stay
No
tuned
problem.
for the next episode. For season 6, really.
yes. We'll be fat.